Elodie and her companions knew the coordinates of the spaceship that would get them off the Rimworld, but it would take a lot of preparation before they could make the arduous journey. A transport pod crashed down near the lemon camp. The occupant, a shadow marine named Shadow, was unable to walk and would have surely died without the Lemon's assistance. So of course, little Elodie ran out there to rescue him right away. The Lemons had plenty of food, they had some medicine, and they even had some medical beds waiting, so they should be able to care for the stranger easily enough. Along with Shadow, the group still had a sick rabbit to tend to. During the days, Elodie would farm and play with the baby goats. She was enjoying herself, but longed to be home. A group of poor children came past the lemon camp, looking for medicine. Of course, Elodie wasn't going to let them go home empty-handed. He gave them the medicine, and gave them a big hug, and waved them on their way. Maya quickly threw together some clothes for a trading request from one of their neighbours. And then Hugh and Elodie travelled to the nearby settlement to deliver the goods. Alone at base, Maya finally decided it was time to do something about that mega sloth that had been wandering around. He figured if he could tame it, it might assist in base defense, and anyway, Elodie would find it adorable. Lacking the proper title, Elodie and Hugh were unable to trade with the nearby base, but they were able to fulfill the trade request. They returned to base, taking their donkeys with them. After tending to the sick and injured, Maya spent more time trying to train the new Mega Sloth. A strange siren announced the approach of Manhunting rats. Maya hoped that they wouldn't catch Elodie and Hugh out in the open. After setting up the steel traps, Maya and the Mega Sloth met the rats in combat, although the Mega Sloth was not exactly ready for the fight. By the time Elodie and Hugh returned to base, there were some traders waiting there. Before Elodie could talk to the traders, a nearby muffalo went mad and rushed them. It didn't end well. Elodie bought some more medicine to replace what she'd given away. The group now had a small surplus of food and trade goods, so they could afford to buy more things as traders came by. Being young and impetuous, Elodie and Hugh quickly set a date for their upcoming wedding. While Elodie did most of the farming, Hugh and Maya did the construction, extending Elodie's little throne room into something more impressive. A pack of man-hunting squirrels arrived. This time the group decided to weather the attack by hiding inside their base. It was a good plan, but it didn't take into account the next set of traders that would arrive. I guess they'll have to deal with the squirrels. Another transport pod was crashing down, and once again Elodie went out to rescue them. This one was not paralyzed, but she was more significantly injured than Shadow. Seeing a lynx stalking around near the base, Maya decided to deal with it before it attacked Elodie while she was out and about. With her little medical bay already filled up, Elodie had to spend a portion of her day cheering up her patients. When another transport pod came crashing to the ground, Maya decided that's it, they were never going to travel by transport pod. When their dirt mole guest was fully healed, she slipped out of the colony in the middle of the night without so much as a thank you. In a stroke of luck, Shadow overcame his paralysis and was able to get out of bed. Given that he was a depressed, junky 77-year-old who loved slavery, Maya decided to ask Shadow to move along. Elodie did some research, and by research, I mean she drew some pictures of pretty clothes that she wanted Maya to make for her. On the 3rd of September, a particularly bad lightning storm rolled in, and the lemons were up all night putting out fires. Sometimes fires that they'd just finished putting out. Elodie thought she looked very stylish in her new clothes. A shuttle landed at the lemon camp, ready to pick up the little rabbit. But not the lemon party. They would have to find their own way off the Rimworld. As thanks for looking after the rabbit, a new colonist joined the lemons. Nina Apolyov would be able to help out around the farm. Nina had barely made it to the lemon camp before a raid of pigmen arrived. This would be much more dangerous than a few wild animals. Princess Elodie, her grandfather, and her loyal squire met the raiders at the edge of their animal pen, using the guns they'd bought from traders. Of all things, the raiders were actually armed with grenades, which would make this high risk. The old grandfather barely managed to dive out of the way of a grenade before it exploded. This time the Mega Sloth was a big help attacking the raiders, who took an awful lot of bullets to go down. Meanwhile, Nina was essentially just distracting another raider. It was a miracle that none of the Lemon Party were injured. One of the raiders survived the attack, and Elodie carried him inside. She was going to nurse him back to health, but Maya and Hugh had other ideas.